بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. Welcome dear students. This is Miss Layla Al-Jihani. Inshallah today we will continue our unit Drive Slowly. Today inshallah we will cover two lessons. Lesson 7 and 8 about you and the conversation. Before we start, let's recall what we covered in our previous lesson. In our previous lesson we listened to a text and we answered questions related to the text, okay? Do you remember? It was about Brandon who is having a driving lesson, صح? And we ticked on the things he did right and the things he did wrong. This is what we covered. Also, we covered the pronunciation. How do we pronounce the A sound when we are pronouncing should and shouldn't, must and mustn't quickly, okay? Okay, so inshallah today by the end of the lesson you will be able to ask and answer questions related to driving. Also you will answer questions based on a given conversation. We will give you a conversation and you will answer questions related to that conversation. Also you will use the new vocabulary like the one we will take inshallah in Real Talk. You will use the vocabulary in writing a new conversation, okay? So before we start, we have on page 16 about you. We have 9 different questions, okay? You should answer it based on you, based on your information. Remember, when you answer these questions, you should use must, mustn't, the grammar we took, okay? Also, you should include adverbs of manner, okay? We will take it one by one, question by question. The first question here, we have, what is the driving age in your country? How old should you be? You must be which age so you can be allowed to drive? Can you drive when you are very young? لا, the age is 18. You must be 18 to be allowed to drive, صح? Also, I think, I'm not sure about my information, you can have a temporary driving license to train when you are 16. I think, I'm not sure. Double check the information. So, what about if you are driving a motorcycle? Is it the same? Is it the same? Is the driving age the same for motorcycles? For car, we said you should be 18, صح? Is it the same for motorcycles? You should be 18 or you should be older, 20, 21? What do you think? You should answer it based on our country. In Saudi Arabia, are you allowed to drive motorcycles when you are 18? Yes, I think it's the same age. You are allowed to drive motorcycles at the same age as cars, okay? Now for question 3, what is the speed limit in your town, city? Is it too high or too low? What do they mean about speed limit? The speed limit, like here, 100, this is the highest you can get, okay? The highest speed is 100. What about your city and your town? Is it 100? Is it 80? Is it 120? Okay, so you should answer, you can say the speed limit in our country is, or in my city is 100 or 80 or 70. Based on your town and based on your city you're living in, you should answer this question, okay? Now for question 4, do you see a lot of aggressive drivers? Aggressive driver, this is something we covered in our previous lesson. Do you remember language and context, lesson 4? We covered the qualities, characteristics that comes with aggressive driver. Who are the aggressive drivers? Do they follow the rules? لا, they don't follow the rules correctly. They don't follow it. They exceed the speed limit. They don't leave a safe distance between the cars. They go left and right without giving signals. Can you think about other things they do? Excellent, they blow the horns all the time. These are the characteristics of aggressive drivers. Here the question, do you see a lot of aggressive drivers in your city? When you're going to school, do you see a lot of aggressive drivers? You do? Some of you said yes, some of you said no. طيب, what do, the aggressive drivers? We said they blow the horns, they don't leave a safe distance between the cars, they all go over speed. These are some of the things they do. Should we do the same, inshallah, when you are 18, when you are allowed to drive? Will you be an aggressive driver, or we should follow the rules? Yes, we should follow the rules of the speed limit, the rules of the traffic signs. We should leave a safe distance between cars. These are the things we should do. We should follow the rules. Question 5, what are the most common traffic problems? Here we can see in the picture there is a lot of traffic. What is the common traffic problems in our town? What causes the traffic problems? Can you think about things that cause traffic? Accidents, excellent. Accident can cause a traffic problem. What else? Aggressive drivers. Some of you said aggressive drivers, they can cause traffic. What else? Yes, when people go to their work in the same time, they don't leave early, they can be caught in traffic. You should leave before you get caught in traffic. Now for question 6, what is the major cause for car accident? We said that car accident cause traffic, صح؟ طيب, what cause the accidents? How do accidents happen? What is the most common cause in our town or in our country? Aggressive drivers. If you don't leave a safe distance, when you go over speed, excellent, that can cause accidents. صح? You don't, when you go over speed and you don't have a safe distance, it doesn't give you a time to push the brakes, صح? And stop on time. That can cause a car accident. When you don't give also signals to turn right and turn left to tell the people behind you where are you going, that can cause car accidents. Now for question 7, what do you think the difficulties of driving in your country? Do you think it's difficult to drive in our country? Some of you said yes, some of you said no, it's okay. If you say yes, what do you think the difficulties of driving? How is it difficult to drive? The traffic, encountering, if there is a traffic, it's not easy to drive. Also, when you are driving, you see an aggressive driver, that can cause, and that can be a difficulty, صح? Now for question 8, do you think it is good idea to have a speed camera? This is a speed camera. Here we have Sahir, صح? Everywhere when we go with traffic lights, when we are going on a highway, we can see the speed cameras on some roads. Do you think it's a good idea to have these cameras, or do you think it's a bad idea? I think it's a good idea also. I agree with you that it's a good idea to have these speed cameras. Why do you think it's a good idea to have them? Yes, so people, not all the people, they follow the rules, but if they see a camera, they will follow the rules, they will stop, they will reduce their speed, they will stop when the light is red, and they give a chance to other cars to pass, صح? Now for the last question we have in about you, have you ever seen or been in a road accident? Did that happen to you before? Have you ever been in a car accident? Yes or no? If yes, tell us what happened. Tell us the story. Share the story with your friends. These are the questions we covered in About You. Practice asking these questions with your friends and see how they respond to these questions. Now for the conversation, we have a picture. As you can see on your book, you have a picture for a boy and someone next to him. Does the man next to him look older than the man driving? Yes, he does. He look older. Do you think they are relatives or the same as before? Do you think he's having a driving lesson? No, I think they are related. Also, yes, I agree with you. I think they are related. And we can see in the conversation, the name is George and his father. So we have a father and a son relationship, صح? طيب, when you see the word backseat driver, what do you mean? What do we mean when we say backseat driver? Do I mean a person who sits in the back of the car? Yes? No, it's not. It's not. When I sit, I'm a passenger, صح? I'm a passenger. I'm not a backseat driver. When we say a backseat driver, he is the person, as we can see, he is the person like this man. Does he feel comfortable sitting and surfing his, looking through his phone, reading a book, or he's looking at the road and telling the driver what to do, where to go? Yes, when you are telling the driver, turn right, slow down, be careful, we call you a backseat driver, okay? We call you a backseat driver. You're not the actual driver, but you are telling the driver what to do, okay? We call them backseat driver, okay? When you're looking at the picture on your book, who is in the car? We said we have a father and a son. We got that from the conversation in front of us. What is their relationship? We said George and his father. What is happening? Do you think George's father is a backseat driver? Yes, I agree. I think he's a backseat driver. He's telling him what to do, and we can see it from his hand gestures, صح? What are they saying to each other? What do you think they are saying to each other, the father and the son? Do you think they're talking about weather? Do you think they're talking about school? No. The father is a backseat driver, so he's telling him what to do when he is driving, when George is driving. Let's see the conversation together. Before we start, I want you, when you, we have these questions about the conversation. How does the father want George to drive? Okay, this is the first question. I want you to answer it based on the conversation we will hear together. Question 2, what should George do before he starts the car? Question 3, what does the father say about the time to arrive at the airport? Question 4, what must George watch out for? These are the questions. You should answer it based on the conversation. Now for the first conversation, let's hear it together. Bismillah. Listen and follow please on my book, in your books, page 17.
George, I want you to drive slowly and carefully, and put on your seat belt. We have plenty of time.
What time is your flight, Dad?
At 6 p.m.
That's in 3 hours. You have 2 extra hours. The trip to the airport is less than an hour.
You should always arrive at least 2 hours before departure. We might run into traffic at this time of day. Why are we taking this road?
Because it's quicker.
You can't be serious. You should use the highway. It's faster because it's more direct. Turn right at the next traffic light. Hey, don't go so fast. Slow down.
Dad, the speed limit here is 70 kilometers per hour, and I'm doing 60.
Be careful. You almost hit that car. You have to watch out for traffic.
Okay. We heard the conversation together. We heard the conversation between George and his father. Let's answer the questions together. How does the father want George to drive? What did he say from the conversation? How does the father want George to drive? Excellent. He wants George to drive slowly and carefully. He said slowly and carefully. This is the answer for the first question. Question 2, what should George do before he starts the car? What did the father say to George? Yes, George should put on his seat belt. He told him to put on his seat belt. Yes? Question 3, what does the father say about the time to arrive at the airport? He says that you should always arrive at the airport 2 hours before departure. You should leave a safe time so you can arrive. If you're caught in traffic, you won't miss your flight, صح? Question 4, what must George watch out for? He told him watch out for, excellent, the car. George, you must watch out for traffic. There was a lot of traffic. He almost hit that car, صح? These are the answers for the questions about the conversation. Now, for the conversation, at the last part of the conversation, you notice that there are some words in blue. You can't be serious. This phrase, when someone say you can't be serious, what do we mean when we use it? When we use this phrase? Like, for example, if I tell you tomorrow you have an exam on 4 units, and also I will examine your reading, and I will examine your, you will have a speaking exam, writing exam, all of these in one session. Do you think I'm serious? You will tell me, miss, you can't be serious. Are you joking? Okay? So this phrase, we use it when we think someone is not being serious, is joking. We use it. Also, the phrase, hey. I think we use it also in Arabic. Hey, it's a sound you make when you want the other person to pay attention to you, okay? To pay attention, hey, they look at you, okay? It's a sound we make. I'm doing 60. George, he said to his father, the speed limit here is 70 kilometers. I'm doing 60. That's mean I'm not over speed. I'm driving on 60 kilometers per hour, okay? This is what do we mean with these phrases. We can find it in real talk, okay? Here, you can't be serious. We use this expression to express surprise or disbelief. When we're surprised about something and we don't believe something, we use this phrase. Hey, we use it to attract someone's attention, okay? Also, I'm doing 60, I'm driving 60 kilometers per hour. Okay, when we look at the conversation again, at the end, be careful, the father said. Be careful, you almost hit that car. You have to watch out for traffic. How do you think George will respond? How do you think George will say to his father? Will he say, okay, Dad, you know the first rule of safety? Don't talk to the driver. Do you think he will say that? Or do you think number 2, okay, Dad, you drive? Do you think he will say that? Are we allowed to say that? Are we allowed to talk to our parents disrespectfully? No. As our Prophet Muhammad ﷺ advised, and it's in our religion, we should respect our parents, صح? We should respect, and we should not use these phrases to talk to our parents. We should not respond to them in a rude way. 3, Dad, why don't you get a cab? I think all 3, it sounds a bit disrespectful. How do you think we should respond to our parents when your father? You can say, okay, Dad, I will slow down. Okay, Dad, don't worry. You can say that instead of using these phrases, صح? Okay, for the last part, we have your turn. Now you have to make a conversation. You should use the words we covered in real talk, okay? We have 2 parts, A and B, okay? The first part, A, role play the situation with the partner. We had the situation, we have to practice the conversation. You are going to the airport. Imagine that you are going to the airport like George's father. He's going to the airport also, صح? You want to leave early. Your brother is going to drive. Imagine that you're going to the airport, you want to leave early, but your brother is driving. Imagine this situation and try to practice the conversation with your partner. I have a sample here. Okay, we have this conversation I wrote for you. We have Sarah and Muhammad. Sarah is going to the airport and Muhammad is her brother, okay? He's taking her to the airport. So let's read it together, the conversation. We have Muhammad, I want you to take me to the airport. What time is your flight? He asked her. At 9 p.m. Muhammad, that's in 2 hours. You have 1 extra hour. I always arrive late, hopefully not very late. We might run into traffic at this time of a day. Why are we taking this road? She's asking when they are driving, because it's quicker. You can't be serious. You should use the highway. It's faster because it's more direct. Turn right at the next traffic light. Hey, don't go so fast. Slow down. Muhammad, Sarah, the speed limit here is 80 kilometers per hour and I'm doing 70. Sarah, be careful, you almost hit that car. You have to watch out for traffic. So this is an example for the conversation. We used the real talk phrases, and Sarah was being a normal passenger, a quiet passenger, or she was a backseat driver. Excellent, she was a backseat driver. She's telling her brother what to do, how he should drive, okay? For B, we have role play this situation with a partner. Also, we have another conversation you should make. You're going somewhere in a taxi. You aren't in a hurry. You're not in a hurry. The driver is speeding and driving recklessly. What would you do? Imagine that you are in this situation. This conversation will be your homework, okay? So your homework for today is writing a conversation, imagining this situation, part B of your turn, okay? We did A together. You should do B with your friend and submit it to your teacher, and you can read it in front of your classmate. This will be your homework. If we want to recall what we covered in our lesson today, we took many questions about your questions. We answered based on our information related to traffic. Also, we read a conversation and we answered questions related to this conversation, okay? We used new vocabulary in asking and answering questions in a conversation, okay? Thank you for listening. That's it for today. Inshallah, I will see you next class.